Welcome to the Cosmoteer Asynchronous tournament. I'm going to be going through a few matches by different PvP players and trying to figure out who is the best Meltdown PvP player. So I'm going to be going through the 3 tournament matches of me versus Butter. First match, I have a laser wall, and Butter has 2. So I have this laser wall. It's very fast. The shields are very strong, but if Butter is able to hit me in the back, I will die pretty easily. And on Butter's side, Butter has 2 rail spinners and a squib. So what Butter's trying to do is get me to divide my attention between the rail spinners and the squib, and get around me with this. Have me make sure I focus on the rail spinners, face the rail spinners, because I need to not die, not be shot through. And while I'm focusing the rail spinners, Butter wants to get behind me with the squib and use the cannons to go into my back, start a lot of fires, destroy a lot of components, and then win that way. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to kill the squib without exposing myself too much to the rails and dying. Okay. So here I'm behind the asteroid. And see Butter's squib is trying to... Butter's also trying to pose a threat with the squib while not leaving the squib vulnerable. So now Butter's got the squib, and I'm trying to roll on this rail spinner so I can kind of get to Butter while doing that. So now Butter's got a little bit of a ram lock, but it's on the side, so my armor helps me a lot there, and Butter can see me. But I just did 360 before the rails turned around, which was very helpful. And now I'm trying to almost full focusing on this squib. So here I got a little bit to the squib, and now I'm very exposed to the rails right now, but I was able to kill Butter's squib. So now it's kind of a very easy fight for me. All I have to do is make sure Butter can't get through my shields, so I'll just face my front, and that's it. And then from here, I'm kind of just sitting there, taking the damage, and slowly killing the squibs. Butter could kill this control room because it's exposed, but that wouldn't kill my ship. So it's pretty straightforward for me. And that was our first match. Okay, now in our second match, because we had previews off, we had to kind of guess what each other were going to do and try to pick maybe a counter to what the other player is going to have. So in this match, I have my Ion, which can go forwards and backwards, which really helps against spinners because that means you can disengage really easily. So I can kind of keep myself at distance from whatever Butter has, which I assumed was going to be a spinner, which I assumed correctly. So Butter now has Butter's DC squib, which is really, really strong, and pretty scary to fight against, because if Butter's able to get really close and pressure you into getting close and staying for damage, these DCs can get cut through a lot. And then Butter also has the same squib, so I'm trying to split my attention between the DC and the squib and reveal my less strong side to one of them. Okay. So now I'm thinking about playing around the rock, but I don't, because I'm afraid that the squib gets more of an advantage from playing around the rock. And it's just easier for me to play out in the open. So then I decide to go around to the open. Oh, and was that Disney? No, we're good. Okay. So then, but I'm also I'm trying to go over here, and also threaten Butter whenever Butter comes close. So now Butter is coming close, trying to damage me, and as Butter closes, I turn, I get out of DC range, and I kill Butter Squib. And then this is kind of GG's for Butter at this point because Butter can't do much else. So all I have to do is I have to shoot back up, and I'm trying to turn my damage here. Butter's not able to do too much against this, unfortunately. I did play a little bit of a counter to Butter's ship. You can see I am taking damage, but I have enough shields that it's not enough to significantly hurt me. And with the TRL is kind of cooking through the shields, cooking through the armor, I guess, hurting the deck cannons, and also the deck cannons are creating a lot of heat. So Butter's thermal systems are also almost used up. And now Butter decided to forfeit because there wasn't too much they could do. Okay, now our third match. This one was a little more interesting because it wasn't kind of a counter from the start. So here I have the same ion ship, and Butter has a really interesting rail plus TRL ship. So Butter's TRLs are super strong, 28 amplifiers and 14 dilators, and 2 TRLs with that. So very scary. It might have been useful to split the thermal systems so that they had amplifiers to themselves. I'm not sure. But anyway, super scary ship. If I let the TRLs in range, they can probably cook my shields fairly quickly. And the rails themselves, if there's an opening in my shields, they're going to use it and completely destroy my shields. So I've got to be careful for that too. And now me, I want to be playing cautious, and Butter wants to be getting a TRL range and overheating my shields, destroying them that way. So let's see how this plays out. My ions are a little bit further than Butter's TRLs, so if I'm able to cut it at range, it will only be Butter's rails versus my ions. And I would win that because my shields are strong enough to stop the rails, and Butter has armor and probably not strong enough shields just to stop the ions. But it does get really, really close. So here I'm trying to kind of cut through the side because it's a little less defended. And maybe destroy the engines, maybe just cut into the TRL. Butter is trying to get any way to get through my shields. But I also do have the ability to disengage and re-engage whenever I want because I'm a little faster. And Butter's doing a really great job of spreading the damage here, rolling. The reactors are being used a lot too for TRL, shields, and thrusters. Here my shields are a little bit on fire, so Fire Barrier comes in. And Butter shields are a little bit scary too. The dual layer OC small shields are really cool. I'm really liking them. Yep, so right now I'm basically at full, haven't taken too much damage yet. See, one shot was able to take out 2 shields, but you kind of have to get through 4 shields to really hurt me. So it's really difficult. Now with the TRL in range, it's dealing some fire damage to the shield, but luckily I do have OC fire extinguishers. Now I think I backed up because I wanted to cool down from all the heat. But what I don't want to do is I don't want Butter to snipe me which Butter almost does right up here. So yeah, I was trying to run away, trying to disengage, but I did not look at whether Butter could shoot me, and Butter was super, super close to shooting me here. Probably could have taken out half my thrust, and then it probably would have been a different fight. Um, I was focusing more on my shields being pretty well cooked, but I should have probably been focusing more on Butter. And Butter is still able to take advantage of that, start hurting my shields more, and wow, this is a lot of crew fighting the fires. And now we go into range again, and I'm going to just keep trying to get through this side, and Butter's going to try not to let me, and also try to get through here. I was playing this a lot more cautiously than I would normally play it, just because it's a tournament match, and I don't want to lose, right? So, yeah. This guy's super on fire now. Pretty scary. And now Butter needs to roll the damage a lot to stop me from being able to hit the TRL there and having the damage. And look at how much fire there is here. So much. But there's also a lot of fire extinguisher people coming. Okay, so now I'm backing up, disengaging again, because I don't want to die. And I really just want to keep playing cautiously. However, I kind of get fed up a bit at this point, and I kind of just go in. So now I'm really close, really in there. I'm just trying to kill that TRL if I can. My shields are really being cooked now. So if Butter survived for a little bit longer, I probably would have died. Or I probably would be dying. Okay, so this shield's on fire. This shield's on fire. This shield is very close to being on fire. But Butter's defenses are looking a little bit of a worse spot. Almost all or half the shields on this side are dead. And this side is all on flames. All in flames. So, it's looking rough. And now all the shields are off. Yeah, but now I've got 1, 2, 3. Pretty much all my shields on this side are really overheating. Butter's got 2 shields left. 1 shield left, no shields left. And my fire extinguishers are there for me. Both the rails are gone, TRL is gone, the other TRL is overheating, and now it's pretty much GG's for Butter. Yeah. So, with some good games. Butter had some unlucky picks here and there. But overall, I thought it was pretty fun. Yeah, so great games, Butter. Okay, so now it's Miko Gamertag versus Plaus. I ran the same Ion chip. We played this with previews on, so we could tell what each other were playing. Yeah, so I am running my Ion chip, same one. Very vulnerable in the back, but it has some backwards thrust. And I ran this because Plaus is using his, he's using a swarm, which is really scary for a lot of ELM ships, because you can't deal with it very well. If they can get behind you, they can kill you very easily. So Plaus has a laser blaster wall. This one's interesting because it actually cools automatically because of the exposed surface length. There's some cooling with meltdown chips, with meltdown parts. Is running OCDC traps, kind of low on armor, so it's pretty quick for me to kill them, but if they get behind me, very, very deadly. And then lastly, Plaus running in a rail kite. So let's see how this plays out. So Plaus kind of wants to get around to my back, and I want to make sure he cannot get around to my back. It is also worth noting that Plaus has not used these ships before, so probably need a little more practice. Um, so I'm able to kind of pick off the rail kite right here, and then once that rail's dead, Plaus can't do anything with the rail. So I'm basically just trying to pick them off really quickly without the rest being able to get close enough and catch me in my back. So I'm kiting here, and then killing the DC really fast, killing this DC, and because I'm kiting, they aren't able to get behind me, and that really helps me here. So then, lastly, killing this DC, and then I'm gonna kill this one. Yeah. So that was a good game, I think. Yeah, Plus probably wanted a little more practice with that matchup before using the trap, but overall pretty well piloted and very scary for me. Okay, so now it's the exact same matchup because Plaus wanted to try again with these same ships, which is a fairly good idea because I think Plaus does have the upper hand. Although being orbital thrust, these can't go backwards if I'm attacking them, so it's a little bit difficult. It's pretty difficult to pilot. So yeah, my plan is still the same. Try to kill them separately without having them get behind me. And I can also use the clouds to my advantage. Yep, so let's see how this plays out. Plaus has them separated. And I'm going into kind of straight the middle, which is not the best idea. But I don't think Plaus was able to close in time. It's actually a really bad idea because now Plaus can come from both sides. So I'm trying to lure them into coming to me and then back up. I probably should have played this more conservatively though. I do have these rocks over here, which are really helpful to kind of cut off angles from Plaus, but still, it's still pretty scary. Okay, now these guys are a little bit far away, so I'm gonna pursue these guys. Just trying to close. But right now they're just so far away. And the rail kite looks like it's coming in, so that's a real danger to me. So I want to make sure I can't die to the rail kite. But, yeah. And then, now I'm going back to the rail kite, because I think I can catch up with the rail kite maybe. Or not. So it's a kind of this game. Oh man, and if that hit me, I would have been screwed. It's kind of this game of cat and mouse. You're trying to come in, and that did hit me, so it cut most of my thrust off. So this was a really, really close one, right? Because this rail kite's super dangerous, but I was able to get the rails. But now I can't move really. So what Plaus wants to do now is just wait for the Ring of Death to come and finish me off. But I am able to move enough so I can get there. So let's watch as so Plaus is kind of hiding in there. I killed Plaus's small ship there. And now Plaus is hiding. I'm gonna try to flush them out with my ions. I swapped them to mouse control mode at this point, so I can try to hit anything that's there. But as I do that, Plaus comes out of those asteroids and starts getting me really aggressively. So if unfortunately, there's some piloting issue, probably RTS acting up, and Plaus wasn't able to take advantage of the opening, and I end up winning this. Yeah, GG. It was super close that time, so very, very scary, and I'm sure very scary for Plaus too, because if you die that quickly, you cannot be making it. It's like you have to really, really be careful about making mistakes. Yeah. So this time, Plaus decided to go with a bunch of small cannon. This is the third match. A bunch of small cannon traps, which are also really scary. Um, and also maybe even take longer to kill because there's so many cannons. Uh, and so a bunch of small cannons, and yeah, I still can't get them back. But I decided to run my laser wall instead of my ion because it goes faster, and I thought I could maybe separate them a little bit easier. However, see, it may have been a misplay to switch to this ship. So I'm going to try to pick them off individually, but it's really difficult when they're all flying together. And Plaus is able to make them all fly together. They also can go super, super quickly. Probably about as, I think, faster than me. Yeah, 120. I can go 123. But I can't go 123 when there's ships in front of me. So now they're able to get behind me, do a bunch of damage. I was able to deal a little damage to theirs. You know, I'm trying to just keep them in my front. But it's really difficult when there's so many of them. And my back's kind of really exposed. The thermal components do help. Like all the heat batteries and radiators do help blocking things, but it's not looking good for me right here. One control room left, and Plaus wins. So the series with Plaus was Plaus won 1 and I won 2. Good games. Okay, so this is our next matchup, Plaus versus Let's Fish. So for their first matchup, uh, we have deck cannons versus deck cannons. Plaus has a bunch of deck cannons, actually 16 on a line, and a bit of thrust, but Plaus's back is pretty vulnerable. Let's Fish, here on the other hand, only has 11 deck cannons, but also has a TRL. So Let's Fish probably would work better against some shield enemies, but Plaus does have the DPS advantage here. Let's Fish also has more thrust, but we'll see if that comes out to Let's Fish's favor in this matchup. So here Plaus is kind of hiding in the cloud, the gas cloud, and Let's Fish is trying to get Plaus to get out of the gas cloud. So here Plaus decides to come out and fight Fish. Yes, so Plaus is a nice big volley, all concentrated fire, but Fish was not able to get as good concentrated fire, partially because Fish couldn't actually target Plaus while in the field. And then Plaus was able to get a really, really nice another shot, and this is a lot to Fish, and Fish kind of has to rotate here to protect himself. But Plaus was able to get a really nice hit here, kill the control room, and Fish had to turn off all these components to keep control, get more command points. Yes, so now Fish is trying to poke through, but it's hard with Plaus's super massive alpha and only half of Fish's ship remaining. So Fish was really close there to hitting the radiators, but unfortunately turned around and Plaus got a nice shot to the backside. So the next matchup, Fish decided to keep using the deck cannon, and Plaus decided to use a bunch of small ships, so a bunch of cannons, mining laser, and the rail kite. So let's see how that turns out for Plaus and fish. So fish here is obviously trying to separate, try to go for a few at once, and then completely demolishes them. Each tickler is done in one shot with a deck cannon. But if the ticklers can get to the back, oh wow, that was like big hit again. If ticklers can get to the back, it's really tough for fish. Another tickler down. Um, so fish is kind of trying to rotate a lot here to stop the ticklers from really dealing a lot of damage. It's very tough though, as you can see. Fish's insides are cooking, very much cooking. Another tickler down. One more tick. So this tickler is still alive. This mining period is alive, and this tickler is alive. But this tickler is bringing up a lot. So I'd say fish should probably focus on that pyramid. Okay, and then so fish has gotten a lot of Plaus. These deck cannons, unfortunately, are all overheating because all the lines are cut. But these deck cannons are fine. So now fish decides to go and try to press the rail kite. Fish sees that there's no cooling on this, so fish comes up. But unfortunately, there is cooling. The cooling, however, is from air. Because parts cool with surface area, this this ship can cool. The railguns can cool themselves, and so can the PD. Um, and also, if this gets too hot, there's fire extinguishers to cool it down. So now this rail kite really immobilized fish, and fish can't do much else. So probably the best play for fish would have been to try to wait in that gas cloud and wait for the ring of death to come in, so that fish could kill the rail kite. But unfortunately, because fish decided to push, there's not too much fish can do, and the rail kite can just slowly eat fish up piece by piece. Big hit, the big hit. Now fish can't go forward anymore, so Plaus could wait for Ring of Death too, but since Plaus is outside of range, um, Plaus can just run. And now Plaus gets some good snipes to the back. You can see right here in the mini map, and Plaus wins. So good game, good piloting by fish. Unfortunate decision in the end, but it was a close one. Okay, so this is the same matchup, Plaus with the ticklers and fish with the deck cannon. We're gonna wait until they close up a little bit more. So fish is trying to hide in the cloud, but Plaus is not having it. So now fish comes out to try and kill the ticklers. Unfortunately, fish lost the boost right before, so fish can't turn as fast, and then the ticklers can kind of get behind, and this is a lot of damage. Yeah, so with the ticklers behind, took out half, and then this tickler's doing a lot of damage here. So fish was able to kill one of Plaus's ticklers, but not too much extra space for fish. Fish is a little bit cooked here. And Plaus, one last snipe with Plaus's rail kite, and Plaus wins. So GG's for both of them. Plaus ended up winning 3-0. Yeah, but the second one was really, really close. So good job both Plaus and Fish. And let's keep going. So this is now Miyuko Gamertag versus Fish. So Fish is the same deck Ken set up from earlier. Really good ship, can close in really quickly with all those boost thrusters. And then I have my missile orbiter with the TRL. So the TRL kind of does damage in the front, and the missile orbiter protects in the back. Huge thrusters, you know. Yeah. Yeah. So let's see how this goes. Fish is going to be trying to get through my front, and I'll be trying to kind of shoot Fish in the back with all my missiles. Because if I can get through the back, less armored back, that can really, really help me. So I have to kind of wait to have my operators come in from the airlocks. So that's why I was sitting there for a little bit. So now we're both going into this cloud. And Fish is firing a little bit at me, shooting the front. And getting a little bit, shooting my shields down. Not getting too much damage in yet, but the shields are definitely being open. So some nice missiles there. They all hit the front though. The TRL is doing a surprising amount of damage to Fish's ship, as you can see. And my missiles are able to kind of arc around. I'm targeting probably around here to arc them around as nicely. But also my front is super being attacked by deck cannons, and if Fish can get a few more shots in there, I'll probably be cooked. Unfortunately, Fish kind of turn around to prevent the missiles from hurting them. And my shields have regenerated now. I was able to also kill the TRL with my missiles, and yeah, it's a little rough for Fish. Oh, Fish was, I guess I hit the middle reactor and it exploded. So now Fish is a little bit on fire here, and I'm just trying to take out each piece individually without letting them hit my backside. So I'm putting my TRL on this ship and ramming it, and then I'm having my missiles shoot the other ship. And Fish is trying to come around here and shoot my behind. Fortunately, shot the armor there, and this ship is not able to do too much more. And now this ship's super overheating, probably got crew bug there, and my TRL is able to, I think, finish off this ship. I'm sending my missiles at the other ship, I believe. Oh, this ship's this control room's dead, so it's just this one left. And I'm letting the TRL finish it off. My heat is also super high, so a little bit longer concentration, I might have overheated. But GG, very good piloting. That was a good game. So this is the second match with Fish. So this time, still running the missile orbiter, but Fish is using a really interesting ship called the Radioactive Jaw, slightly radioactive Jaw. So in this ship, Fish has nukes and mines, and uses overclocked tractor beams to have a pulse and shoot them super far. Actually, farther than any other weapon can really shoot. I'm not sure the exact range, but I could ask Fish later, I guess. And because they can shoot so far, they actually Fish kites super far away and then snipes you. However, my ship, because it has all these shields and armor, it can do pretty well against front shots. So now I'm gonna be trying to close the distance with fish, and fish is going to be trying to stay away and also shoot me. Once these tractor beams start spinning up, you'll see, okay, so these tractor beams, they're ready. Fish launches them and launches the nuke straight at me. And you can see it did some damage, but because I have so many shields, it blocked a lot. So now I close in range, and then fish is going to be trying to use the OCTBs to push away, but apparently they don't have enough range to actually push missiles away, which is quite unfortunate because that'd be really cool to see. And now because I'm in range, I have so many missiles. Fish dropped some mines, but I decided to go around the asteroid the other way. Basically, once I'm in range, I do have the win. So, unless fish does something extremely crazy, I probably win this match here. I've got a lot of missiles. Missiles running, and now I have my TRL on the control rooms and cockpits. Mines are there, but they're a little far away to do anything. Bunch of nukes hit, but yeah, ends up being my win. I think in the next match you'll see a little bit of a closer, a little bit more damage to my missile. So unfortunately, the one where fish did a lot of damage to me, that one, the mines caused a crash for fish, so I don't have the replay for that, unfortunately. We still have this one, though. Fish hit me with a quick shot in the front because I have to wait for my operators. I think that killed all of my shields, but they went back online. Another big hit. See, that took out all my shields and a bunch of my armor, too. The setup with the OCTBs is super awesome. Super interesting. Definitely one of my favorite, like, unique ships. And this ship, I happen to be playing a really tanky ship against it, but if I was playing like a laser wall or something like that with shields, I would have been demolished. Or if I had one with only armor, I would have also died. So the only way to really beat this ship is if you have armor and shields. See, the mines did a bunch of damage here too. But fish is to keep kiting me, and I am not slow, I'd say. So I think I'm trying to stay behind their asteroid to let my shields recharge there. And fish unfortunately hits that rock, and that slows down fish a lot. I think fish might be using RTS to pilot to aim better, but that makes it a lot harder to get around rocks. And now I'm within range with my TRL, so fish is able to shoot a few nukes, but unfortunately they didn't aim in time. And the mines didn't really do much. So, using my TRL to hit the cockpits, and it's pretty much GG's. Yeah, so super unique, super interesting ship. Unfortunately, I did have the counter to that ship, so yeah, a little bit unfortunate there. But if you see this ship with like going against a shield ship or an armor ship, it's insane. There's kind of no way to beat it. So yeah, good games. Okay, so now it's time for Fish versus nNew, and nNew here, as you might see, has a shielded ship. So there might be a little bit of a different reaction from the radioactive draw here. Let's see this go. So fish is filling up right now, and completely demolished half the ship with those mines. Kind of insane. think fish might only need one more shot to take nNew out completely. Let's see. So TBs are loading. Mines are out, and fish wins. So the radioactive jaw, slightly radioactive jaw, it's insane. It's such a cool ship, and yeah, new ship is awesome too. Do not get me wrong, but unfortunately, fish kind of played the counter to that ship and any ship that only has shields. So that's the result of that. Okay, so now it's fish versus nNew, and fish switched back to their DC ship. Really strong, and nNew now has a DC trap, so 3 different DCs. It's diagonal, which is really interesting. And they all have a lot of boost, so very scary. Fish definitely does not want any of nNew ships behind them. So let's see what happens. Oops. So fish is going to be trying to separate them, and it ends up, oh, okay. Yeah, ends up taking out one of the ships, like that. Fish's DC is a lot of damage, and nNew just wasn't able to, looks like it was not able to press the back as quickly as they wanted to. It's really hard because, I mean, just RTS piloting in general is hard. There were some nice shots there. I think they got caught in the armor, luckily for fish. But if they weren't, fish would have been dead. Yeah, so now fish was able to take out the second one, and it's just a 1v1 now. So nNew doesn't stand too much of a chance now because it's going against a 11 deck cannon ship versus a 2 deck cannon ship. So a little rough for nNew. And the TRL. Can't forget about the TRL. Bunch more damage. And no more DCs. So one more shot and it'll be over. Or not. 2 more shots and it'll be over. There we go. Okay. Good game from nNew and fish. Let's see what they have in the third game. Okay, so now nNew is playing their deck cannon ship from before. I believe this was inspired from Alo's ship, but it's really interesting. It's got a bunch of shields in the front, all overclocked, and then a bunch of huge thrusts. I think these are also overclocked. I think there's missing a little quarter there, but there should be enough from the capacitor for a while at least to power those engines. 18 thermal batteries. Maybe you want a little bit more for that amount of shields, but it's still pretty solid. And fish again with the same deck cannon. So let's see how it goes. I'm gonna go with full throttle until I get a little closer. Okay. First volley, was able to take out one of Fish's hooks. I think nNew is focusing on Fish's hooks here to try to make sure they don't get stuck on them. Maybe try to be able to slide off, allow the shields to kind of spread the damage. You can see that there's a lot of heat, a lot of heat storage, a lot of heat from the deck cannon, so that's really scary for nNew, because if they end up overheating, that's really deadly for them. I think that maybe nNew should have tried to skip shooting off those hooks and instead try to focus on shooting the middle, because now nNew's able to take out that TRL, and that's really bad for fish. But as you can see, too much heat, nNew is overheating, so this is very bad for nNew, but it's also bad for fish because fish over-rotates here, and nNew's able to get a shot in the back, but it just misses. Just misses the reactor, and unfortunately, fish is able to shoot out half. Unfortunately for nNew, fortunately for fish. shoot out half of that. And fish still has a back that is pretty much intact. And then a nice under shield shot from fish to finish off the match. Or let's fish. Yeah, good match from both players. That one especially, that was super close. And yeah.
And I just realized I was using the wrong microphone, so we're going to switch to this one for the last two matches between me and nNew. In this first one, I'll be using my TB rail, which that'll be my TB rail versus nNew's ion. So this TB rail was made before the thrust heat changes and engine room heat changes, so it's going to overheat pretty quickly. But however, it has a lot of rails and a lot of nukes. So, and nNew, on the other hand, has a overclocked ion, 24 ions, I think, which is a lot of DPS here, but only 6 shields in the front when some have 8. So what I'm going to be trying to do is snipe through the sides, pull nNew in, and then flip nNew and shoot nNew and kill one of the reactors. And what nNew's going to be trying to do is stay at range, make sure I can't get them with their TBs or my nukes, and just slowly eat through my front and kill me. So let's see how this goes. I think I'm overclocking the engine rooms just to, yes, I'm overclocking the engines just to make sure I don't overheat. And now I'll be closing. I'll be trying to close. So I'm trying to hit in here, and nNew is shooting me. I'm basically trying to shoot one of the engines to make sure nNew can't reverse as quickly. But it's really difficult because I don't really have the damage required to take these shields, and nNew has a really good shield setup here. So now I'm going to be trying to turn to have my my nukes hit nNew. You have this nice range extension thing where it will go pretty far, but unfortunately I missed my nukes and I wasn't able to hit nNew with them. Now I am pretty close, so I'm going to try to go in a little bit closer and then push with the tractor beams, but nNew is able to counter rotate and stop me from doing that. And I also just missed the snipe again. So now I'm taking more damage on my armor, but I wasn't able to stop that. My reactor's overheating pretty badly, and nNew is looking pretty calm and confident here. Just chipping away at my front and being my ship. Looks like the power capacitors are great. nNew has dedicated crew to come from the capacitor to the shield. So yeah. My rails are almost eaten through right here. nNew's able to kill 2 of them so far. All my nukes were taken out. Just got 3 rails left, or 4 rails left. Now 3. Now I've got 2 rails left. I am getting close, but it's probably not going to be enough to finish the match.
Food?
And now nNew wins the match by, yeah. Okay, so this is the last match. nNew's going to be using the deck cannon ship from before, and I'll be using the same TB rail. So I'll be trying to do the same thing, push onto nNew's side, and then get a nice snipe in. Hit the exposed parts. I can't really shoot the shields at all, so I've got to hit the exposed parts. little bit of damage there. New's probably going to try and get through my front, but I have a bunch of nukes there, and then that leaves a really good opening for me to shoot through. And unfortunately for New, I was able to get a little bit of a push there. And my nukes hit, and then I'm able to snipe one control room. So now New's got half of a ship, and looks like I haven't taken too much damage yet. And the TV rail ends up winning one last shot. Yeah, very good piloting from New. Unfortunately, it's a really tough matchup. You've got to kind of orbit around the TV rail, keeping all the thrust ramped up. But that's a little tough for New to do, especially with the shields not really giving you the best angle to go at, because if you go at too big of an angle, you can just shoot right past the shields. So, yeah, not too nice of a matchup for New, but New did a good job. And that's going to be the end of the matches for now. Bye. Thanks for watching. Hopefully we'll have more of these. Bye.